What's cracking, everybody? You're back with Mr. Berger, and tonight it's been a while, but I'm happy to bring you another collaboration, or I guess kind of a guest video. Tonight I have with me Mewyblast. What's going on, Mewy?
Hey, what's up? What's up, everyone?
Alright, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Mewy, before we get started here. How long have you been playing Clash Royale, first of all?
Well, my friends introduced me in the game around 2017, so I've been playing it over a year, not 2 years yet, but I'm getting kind of close.
Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. You made good progress there, considering you haven't been playing for too long. Because I think I've been playing for about 2 years. But you know, everybody works at their own pace. So let me ask you a little bit of questions about yourself, if you don't mind me getting started with that. Just kind of so we know, who we have here on my channel, who my guest is, and then we'll jump into strategy about the deck itself. So, what's your name? What's your RL name, first of all? Are you comfortable sharing that with us?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm Oscar Villanueva. No problem sharing. Little nervous, but it's alright.
Oh, no worries, dude. Just we're just having casual conversation here. So, you mentioned you're from Texas, huh? Austin?
Yes.
All right, that's
Houston, Texas.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Actually have a Super League tournament today. It's like a local, so it's not that big.
Is that Clash Royale related, or is that another game?
Yep, Clash Royale.
Awesome, dude. You're gonna have to let me know how that goes. You'll have to send me a message later tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So that's basically who we have here tonight. You know who he is. So Oscar, you comfortable sharing with us how old you are?
Yes, I am 23.
Wow, you are my oldest guest. It's nice to have somebody on who's not, 12 or 14. I'm just kidding. I love having those kids on.
Yeah.
But my previous guests have definitely been a little bit younger. I'm 27, going on 28 myself here, so we're a little bit closer here. All right, well, let's stop blathering on about our personal lives here. Let's get on to the deck that we have here. This is a really interesting looking deck that you have here. It looks like a minor poison themed deck with a whole lot of defensive control potential. Well, what would you call it yourself? Like, if you were to call it something, what kind of a deck is it?
Well, I'll call it Royal Recruits Control, I guess, or minor Royal Recruits Control.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's...
Basically, the whole premise is that you chip with the minor, you control with the Royal Recruits, kill and push, and then win. Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks to me, just like glancing at it, like there's a whole ton of defensive potential. Like you have a whole lot of control, a whole lot of defense, and then you got that minor poison to kind of go in as your win condition there.
Yes. So like the win condition is actually you have two, the Royal Recruits and the minor, but the Royal Recruits is not a consistent win condition. You can defend, but you will just end up tying so many games.
Yeah.
Unless you catch them off guard. So that's why the minor is so good, because once you defend with the Royal Recruits, you have recruits pushing their side, and you can have split bats or something, put pressure, and they try to overcommit on one side, defending too hard. You can literally just minor the other side and just take their tower just for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like
that was actually my next question that I had for you, so I'm glad that you brought that up. Was what would you consider like your main win condition, and what would you consider kind of your pseudo win condition or alternate win condition, if there is one? So correct me if I'm wrong here. The kind of recruits are kind of the pseudo alternate win condition, whereas the minor's kind of your main chip damage on the tower.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if you were to like label this, I know this is kind of hard because this is a complex deck, but if you were to label this as like an archetype, I want to kind of call it a control deck. How do you feel about that?
Yes, absolutely. It's control. Like it could do insane counter push, but you never want to like attack. You want to counter push and defend and chip.
Yeah.
Because if you overcommit, you can get punished with something like a Mega Knight. I'd rather counter push with their Royal Recruits, and then they're having to use more elixir, and then when I use my small attackers like bats and minor, we just take down their towers or do so much chip damage. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what really. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. And also the thing is that the Royal Recruits, one of the thing is that it doesn't lose to Fireball, it doesn't lose to Sap.
Yeah.
It does not lose to Log. So if they're forced to Log or even Fireball a push, it won't really matter. If they Fireball your Royal Recruits, let's say on the right side to try to like kill everything, You can literally put a musketeer on offense, and sometimes it is okay. You just take down their tower.
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
really nice about the deck.
Yeah, I mean, not only do they have that split push potential, so let's say they fireball the 4 on the right, you've already got 2 in the opposite lane coming down. On top of that, they have that shield effect. So any log, any poison, well, not poison, sorry, but any log, any rocket, any fireball, anything like that is not going to kill them. It's just going to take the shield away. So lots of longevity. Anyway, what I was trying to say earlier is that's kind of the first thing that drew me to the minor or minor poison archetype, was seeing the potential that things like bats and goblins have. You can use just really cheap high DPS units like that and then send in the minor, and if they're unanswered, they'll just wreck a tower. Like, it's insane.
Yes. The bats, not only are they insane with the minor, like right there, like it won me the game because it did so much DPS, even though it had a hard counter.
Yeah.
You can, when you split them with Royal Recruits, it's insane how like that is. Like, I don't know if some replays had that, but like 3 Royal Recruits going on its side and then like 2 split bats, it just literally takes down a tower if they ignore one side, which I've done several times.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I gotta point this out really quickly before we say anything else. You're on the top here. I was a little bit thrown off, but because in my last replay you were also on the top, and I was like looking at the bottom. So just want to point that out, guys. Don't get mixed up here. All right. So let's see. Where were we? Let's talk about difficult matchups. So what would you say?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, sorry for cutting you there. For the difficult matchups, as you can see, Mega Knight is really hard. Like, especially sometimes in like a lower ladder and stuff like that, they'll have like Wizard, or sometimes they'll have Mega Knight Valk, those cards.
Yeah.
That's why you have stuff like the Tesla. And the thing is, for stuff like Mega Knight, you always have to save the Royal Recruits for Mega Knight, always. So one of the issues I was having is, like, for example, the Prince Mega Knight deck or any other deck, they try to force your Royal Recruits, and then once they're able to defend it, they try to abuse that is out of cycle, and they try to use a card to do damage. So that's one of the things why I have the Goblin Gang, because a lot of times they'll Prince on the back, they force my Royal Recruits, because at that point I can't really defend it with a minor Tesla.
Right.
So that's why I have the Goblin Gang. My bad. It helps me like stop mini P.E.K.K.A, stuff like that, and I get to save my Royal Recruits when I really need it, especially against Mega Knight.
Yeah.
Or any other decks.
That's good. I wouldn't think of Royal Recruits as a counter to Mega Knight. I would think of them more as getting countered by Mega Knight because of the splash damage, but it's very situational. I know that Mega Knight's one of those things where you can like distract him on one side with, say, your Miner or your Tesla in this deck, and then you can put the Goblin Gang behind him, and then they'll just wreck him because they won't be taking any damage because they're behind him rather than taking the cleave damage in front of him.
Yes, and at that point, if I'm defending the Mega Knight with the Royal Recruits, it's really nice for me to counter push at that point because I use a lot of elixir as well.
Yeah, definitely.
With my smaller units.
So it sounds like your worst enemies for this deck are kind of splash heavy decks, like Valkyrie, Mega Knight. Would you say like Exinado gives you trouble as well?
Yes. I actually should have a replay with Mega Knight Exinado.
Yeah.
At that point, you just have to kind of keep track of their cycle and knowing how to distract their cards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the Miner is really good, because after I bait out a Mega Knight, they go Royal Recruits. A lot of times I use the Miner to distract the Executioner.
Yeah.
It attacks another side, and then the bats will kill it, and then while it's shooting somewhere else because it's being distracted by the Miner.
Yeah.
It's all about their cycle and distracting the cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finding that right time to counter and outcycling them and so on and so forth. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on into one more match. Alright, so the next thing that I'd like to ask you about is, like, what would you want for your most ideal starting hand? Like, what is your ideal opening move and starting hand? What would you go for, in a perfect world?
You always, in your opening hand, you always want to have a Tesla or a Royal Recruits, because those are your most defensive cards. So they won't, like, just throw a hog for no reason, like usually to see what they have. But that's how you have the snowball, but you want stuff like the Royal Recruits and the Tesla you also want to open up with a miner, but you really like to have, if you have poison in your 5th card, it's still okay. You miner on the bottom right corner
Yeah.
to see what they have, and then you can poison them, or you can even snowball. Or
Yeah.
even cards like the Goblin Gang, you can split those in the back, stuff like that if you need
Yeah, yeah, I like doing that personally. I like splitting bats or Goblin Gang in the back as an opener. And good point about opening with a miner. You always want to do it in that safe spot. So if you're going on the right tower, you want to do it in the very bottom right corner. If you're going on the left tower,
Yeah.
obviously in the very bottom left corner. The reason for that is because then your miner, there's no way for them to possibly tornado or snowball it into their king tower. Pretty much anywhere else, they should be able to tornado it into their king tower. So it's just kind of the safe spot. Just for anybody out there who's watching the video and wondering why you would want to do that spot. Alright, so that sounds like a great answer for our opening moves and our ideal starting hand. If you don't have a super ideal starting hand, I don't know, you end up with like 2 spells and Tesla and Musketeer or something like that. What would you do?
So like at that point, you have poison, snowball, musketeer, like bats. You can always, it's okay to cycle snowball on their tower or something like bats, like split bats in the back, just to fix your cycle. It's only 2 elixir,
right?
And you should be fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's probably what I would do as well, personally. I don't like opening with a spell like on their tower, but it depends on what deck you're playing, especially if you're running like a triple spell deck, like giant 3 spells. Sometimes that's like your only option. You just log their tower because that's all you've got. So it's very situational, I think.
Yes, and usually if I have something like Tesla, Road Recruits, Snowball, and Poison, at that point you don't even need to cycle the Snowball. Just wait, because you have Tesla, Road Recruits, it's going to be really hard for them to break through a lot of the times. So if you just wait for them to push, it's fine, because either way, you have a 7 elixir card, you get a huge advantage in double elixir, which is really nice about this deck.
Yeah.
It gets stronger as it goes.
Which is unusual for minor poison chip damage decks. They're usually very control oriented and very like trade-off, positive elixir trade oriented, and very unforgiving. Like if you slip up at all, it can cost you the game. So it's good to have something to lay back on in this deck. You got that heavy card, like you said. All right.
And you see right here?
Yeah.
He's pushing really hard with the balloon, but you have the Tesla. I had to put it in the front, but he froze. He had a big push, but this deck can defend almost anything.
Yeah.
And he got so distracted that I did so much damage on the right side.
Yeah, and it's good to see Musketeer making a comeback, man. Like, I like Musketeer. It's a fun card to play. It's just been outclassed for so long, so I think that buff made it pretty solid. Like, you probably were not running Musketeer before the buff, I imagine.
Yeah, I was not until it had the buff. The 3% is like, if you think about it, it's not that much damage, but if you think about it in a micro perspective,
yeah,
that 3% is huge because it kills Baby Dragon and a lot of cards one shot faster.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah,
it adds up. It adds up.
No, it really does, and that's something that I've noticed about this game. And I'm an old school gamer. I'm an OG WoW player. Like, I've been through all these games, and sometimes those minor percentages, in some games they don't mean a lot, but in this game it means a huge amount. Like, if you're playing Diablo 3, your weapons get amplified like by 150,000% or something crazy like that, and that's just how the game works. But in this game, that 3% or that 0.65 second increase to initial attack speed can make all the difference in the world. So that buff to the Musketeer, it sounds like, is putting it into a lot of decks. I mean, I've been covering it a lot recently, and you got it here in your deck today.
Well, I'm going to talk about the Snowball, which is
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about the Royal Recruits a lot, so we don't really need to go into that unless there's anything else you want to point out about them. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Snowball is there because this deck can struggle a lot with the bats because you don't want to poison bats. If you have giant bats or something bats in the back, you have Snowball there. And it also helps you stop stuff like hog decks when you don't have a Tesla and when you can use Royal Recruits. You can stop balloons, hogs, and a lot of things with it, and it's really insane.
Awesome. All right, let's jump on to one more replay. So my question is, I mean, other than the fact that Snowball's really popular right now, why would you choose Snowball over Zap? It plays a similar role.
So we have Snowball and Zap, but out of all the cards, Snowball synergizes the most with the miner. Since this deck can, at first I had Bar Barrel since the card was so strong that I was playing it, but then stuff like the bats, sometimes me poisoning a push, it was really bad, Like, I think right there I might snowball. don't think I have elixir. But the thing is, it synergizes so well with miner.
Yeah.
Because if you miner and they predict it, the miner's gonna be hitting their like knights or whatever card they use. The snowball is gonna, with his knockback, is gonna push it away, and then the miner is still gonna get chipped.
Yeah.
Which is really, really valuable with it.
Yeah, so it sounds like it works out well with the miner, and I mean, honestly, it's just kind of like every few seasons we have a popular light spell. Log was the most popular spell forever, and then it became Zap, and then they introduced Barb Barrel and Snowball, and both of them were underpowered, and then they buffed Barb Barrel like crazy, and then like you said, it was everywhere, and you were running it, and now it just seems like Snowball's the one that's in fashion.
Yes, it's so good right now, and I heard that the Barbara is gonna get nerfed, so
yeah,
Snowball is gonna get even better.
Yeah, by the time this video is out, honestly, they'll probably have announced that nerf. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Tesla really quickly. Why do you have the Tesla in this deck, and why not another defensive structure? Why defensive structure at all in a Minor Poison deck?
So out of all, the thing is, Tesla is one of the cards that I had maxed, and
oh,
the thing
okay.
is that it wasn't only the only reason, but then I started finding out that the Tesla Royal Recruit combo can defend almost any push in the game, because I had pushes where they threw Golem and Baby Dragon, and if you Tesla, and then you Royal Recruits, and then the Royal Recruits, they distract the support cards, and then the Tesla is just like, it's chipping on the Golem, it just completely destroy their push. And then keep in mind that you're using a Tesla, Royal Recruits, and whatever Royal Recruits you have on the other side, those are going to be counter pushing. So you can counter push with something cheap with like bats if they use their Baby Dragon, or you can use something like a miner.
Yeah.
And you really punish them.
So it's really for that combo with the Royal Recruits. It sounds like it goes really well on defense.
And right there, I distracted the Executioner with the miner, and then those bats were able to do damage, but he used a Mega Knight.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, they survived for a little bit longer. Just a good thing to point out in theory, even. All right, now you mentioned this a little bit already about, being able to rely on the Royal Recruits more in double elixir time, because they're a 7 elixir cost card. So how would you play this deck differently in single versus double elixir time?
Well, in double elixir, you always want to hold your recruits, never recruits. You only want to recruits until you know what they have, or where you get so much value, because you can get punished with this deck, because a 7 elixir is a lot. Like, you don't want to defend. You can defend with a Tesla, but certain pushes you don't. If I just throw Royal Recruits and they like Mega Knight or try to Valk me and they defend real well, they can counter push me where my Tesla sometimes won't be enough.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Okay, cool. So just kind of knowing when to play those recruits and everything.
Yes. Also, one thing, you always want to use it on defense. Try to use it on cards that are 4 elixir or higher, or it's okay for 3 elixir cards, but only on double elixir.
Yeah.
When it's a card that you extremely hard counter, like a bandit, guard, stuff like that.
Right.
What you're doing is the 4 elixir Royal Recruits at that point.
Yeah, because either way, it's going to completely shut down that card, and then it's going to provide a lot of, threatening counter push.
Yes, and right there, I'm using Royal Recruits as defense. He had to defend with a Knight, or else I was going to take his tower. But at that point, I was already distracting him so much that the miner just finished the game. It's just distracting with the Royal Recruits on defense, and then just win.
Yeah, definitely. Looked like the Musketeer helped out a little bit there, too, at the end. All right, so tell you what. That is it for our replays. I still got a few more questions. So why don't we do some live matches, and I'll try to rack your brain with those questions, but not distract you too much from those live matches. Sound good?
You want me to do ladder, classic?
Whatever floats your boat, man. Alright, so, I don't want to distract you too much, so if you need to stop talking and focus on the gameplay, that's totally fine, but just really quickly, what are some big mistakes you want to avoid with this deck, other than maybe, like, wasting your Royal Recruits?
Overcommitting on single elixir. Right here he did the Barb Hut.
Yeah.
So a Royal Recruits is really good to counter it, because I'm gonna be pushing both sides, and always what did my phone turned off?
Uh-oh. Did we lose you there?
I think my phone turned off. Hold on.
Okay. That's okay. We can make do. You still got...
Oh, my Clash Royale crashed.
Can you get back in time?
I don't think so. Hold on.
That's okay. We can edit it out and we can start a new match. It's no worries.
It crashed. Oh no, it crashed. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. It crashed.
Oh, are you gonna try to get back in this match? Oh, there you
I'm gonna try to come
are.
back.
All right, let's see it.
I was.
This is
Yeah, I'm
gonna make for a
defending.
good match.
I was gonna punish. I was gonna put bats on the middle and then make a huge counter push.
Oh
But
yeah.
as you can see, the Royal Recruits defended so much. I leaked so much elixir. I could have done so much damage.
You, by the way, 5.1 is the number that you have leaked right now.
Oh god. Okay.
I gotta give
Royal
the screaming hog.
Recruits. Oh my god. I had to cycle a musketeer since I have Tesla and bats. It's okay for me. And right here I can counter push, even though it's single elixir. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put bats.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna support the musketeer.
Yeah.
Even though it may look like overcommitting, it's such a strong push that you see he's distracted on the left.
Yeah.
He gives me really good poison value, and then I don't have elixir for the bats, but it's okay.
Yeah, but either way, like you're taking out the barb hut, you're taking out the E-drag, you're getting chip damage on the tower. It's working out pretty well.
Yes.
So let's see. There's another thing I wanted to point out here, and I'm gonna let you focus on this, so I'll talk about it. This deck does definitely contain elements of Zap Bait. He mentioned to me that it at first focused around more heavy spell bait, but he switched things out a little bit. Now you're looking at, looks like you got the bats, you have the Goblin Gang. Those are primarily going to be your Zap Bait cards. There's a small element of spell bait as well with like the Musketeer, the Goblin Gang, and even the Royal Recruits. Occasionally your opponent will spell them. Alright, looks like you're playing a hard defense here.
Yes. I'm trying to find a position where I can counter push him. He's really making it hard for me to poison everything. Okay, he gave me poison value. That's what I want to take advantage.
Good,
I want to take advantage of as much value as I can.
Yeah.
Here I might have to defend with a bats.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, gotta defend right.
Counter push right there. Yes, and then I
need
snowball.
that Tesla.
That's why you play snowball.
Oh, there's the
He's gonna
snowball.
get some damage. He's gonna get. Okay, I have to defend with the Goblin Gang.
Yeah, just make sure he doesn't get too much on that right tower.
Miner. His Electro Dragon is the huge problem.
Yeah.
But I gotta
You got a big push on the right here.
Yes.
Watch out for that bandit coming on the left.
Got Tesla. Snowball. Gotta get my. And looks like I lose. Yeah.
Oh man, that battle ram, close one.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah. What caused me the game is my game crashed, so I couldn't counter push. At that point, the Royal Recruits was distracting for so long.
Yeah.
That if I had bats in the middle and then miner, it would have. By the time he defended that, I would have gotten an elixir, and they just counter push until I win.
Yeah, I mean, you leaked 5 elixir. I don't blame you at all for losing that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and let's start a new challenge or some ladder matches. We'll do some more. Alright, guys, after that disaster of that last one, where he accidentally leaked 5 elixir because his phone crashed, he was 7 wins into a classic challenge. Pretty good, and definitely could have pulled that one out. But anyway, what we decided to do here is just jump into a fresh grand challenge, see how he does here in grand challenges. So, go ahead and focus again on your play here. But let's see. I wanted to talk about card replacements, but I don't know if I want to waste too much time on that. I think I'd rather do more of a play-by-play here. So let's go ahead and talk about the match itself. It looks like you're defending here with the Royal Recruits. They're going to distract the Mega Minion and counter that Miner.
Since he used 7 elixir and I was cycling the Muskie, right there it's okay, because I'm technically using 7 elixir for 7 on the left, and I'm counter pushing on the right. And I got so much damage right there. And okay, now he's trying to go aggressive.
Yeah, I see that with the giant.
Gotta make sure the hunter connects, and then I can do the bats.
There we go. That was good.
I have to Goblin Gang.
Yep, that's gonna work out great.
Get some damage, but as long as I don't like lose.
No, dude, he only got 1 hit with the giant and then the log on the tower. That's nothing. You got way more damage on the right tower. You guys are at about the same elixir right now. It looks like. Yeah, you are.
Yes. Right now I have Miner, Poison, Snowball, Musketeer. Right here I just chip.
Counter his Miner.
I'm not sure the Musketeer reaches it.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, it does not. But I still want it on the right side, and I got Fireball value, which is good. It's good. It's good.
All right, let's see here.
I have Recruits, Tesla, Snowball, and Poison. So I have to cycle a Snowball.
Okay. Just kind of get out of hand.
And then he looked like he's gonna push. He's gonna push. So I'm gonna put 4 Recruits on the right.
Okay, got it.
And then I have Goblin Gang, Snowballs, no good. I have Goblin Gang bats. I can split them up. Make sure I defend. And then I can counter push on the right.
Okay, awesome.
He uses fireball, so he just takes so much damage.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna poison that since I can easily defend that.
Yeah, whenever he uses that fireball, that's 4 elixir invested into the spell. We gotta keep that in mind. So that's 4 elixir he can't spend on supporting troops and supporting the giant and everything. It looks like you were able to shut down that giant pretty well most of the time before it connects to the tower.
Yes.
Consistently getting 1 or 2 swings off, but nothing more than that usually. Hunter, good counter on the hunter there. Almost didn't make it. Looks like you got the miner too. Yeah, I love bats, dude. I've been running bats in my ladder decks forever. They were like one of my first max cards. I switched them out recently because I'm playing a golem beatdown deck, and I put a tornado in there. I had bats in there, and I leveled up my tornado a bit. And just did tornado to synergize with the wizard, you know, and the golem. Alright, snowball, and that's it, dude. That's GG right there. Awesome. Nice first match there in that run. You want to do 1 or 2 more?
Sure, absolutely.
Alright, let's jump on into the next one.
Alrighty, looks like I have bats, Goblin Gang, snowball, and poison. So I want to cycle some bats since I need the Goblin Gang as defense. And I'm cycling right now because I really need my Tesla at least. A Tesla Royal Recruits.
Yeah, he's running
Here,
Lava Hound.
yeah. Lava Hound. Okay, so I'm okay against Lava Hound. All you have to do is pressure on the other side, not too much, and then let your other cards defend. Here I have to Royal Recruits. I have to distract the Mega Minion and let the Musketeer do damage. He really good miner. I just gotta snowball that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably running Lava Miner, not
do
Lava Miner.
this.
Yeah.
He had Zap. Alright, I kinda lose this one, but
Yeah,
I can
that's
still
okay.
come back. I can still come back.
It's not over yet. We're just getting started here. You're only a minute in. And now you know what he's running, you know what his deck is, you know to watch out for that miner, etc., etc.
Usually they don't run Zap, so at that point the bats would really help on that defense, but that Zap really hurt me.
Yeah,
Here is getting me so much value.
He's probably running Fireball too, or maybe Tornado.
I have to do Tesla, and then I gotta distract.
Yeah.
Like a little distract and push at the same time.
You've almost got that left tower down. I think he's running, I want to say Fireball is his last card, because if he's running Zap, he's probably running Fireball with it.
Yes. So look like my Psycho is not as good right now. He has a Baby Dragon out of Psycho, so I'm gonna abuse my bats, put Musketeer in the back,
now
as much damage as I can. And I have to defend with the miner there, since I don't have Tesla and Psycho.
Yeah. There's something to distract the Mega Minion.
Right there to kill the
Muskie lived. That's good. Musketeer lived.
Yeah, I had to, even though I take a lot of damage, I had to snowball that miner a little bit more in the front so it could live, or else I would have lost the Muskie and I would have wouldn't let me come back anymore.
Yeah, that was good. Surrounding Muskie with a sliver of health.
I have to defend with this, and I can counter push on the right.
And
he has to defend this, or else he loses his tower. And it makes it where I can easily defend with the Tesla.
Now watch out, dude. You got 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
That
right
left tower is
poison range.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Now after that one swing.
Gang, not on time. Got a snowball.
There you go.
Zap, so I can bats.
Then you got the King Tower support helping out. Alright, there goes that tower. That's good. You're still in the game.
My only way I can win is that I have to push really hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Just go for a hard push on the tower. Try to distract him at least, and then maybe if anything counter the Lava Hound.
Yeah, he, and then I can Tesla. Gotta defend that side. Oh,
not looking good. Close.
Yeah,
GG. That was a really good one though.
Yes, the fact that he had Zap to counter my bats, which I usually don't run, and Flying Machine is really hard against this deck. It was a winnable matchup, but he caught me off guard with that Zap that he was able to do so much damage that at that point it's really hard to come back. But I almost came back.
Yeah, no, that was a really great match, and I just gotta say really quickly, Flying Machine is awesome. I love that card. It's underrated. It has the potential for so much value. I just think it's a great card.
Yes. And I was thinking of actually using the flying machine, but I don't have another fireball bait card in this deck, so I couldn't really use it, even though the card is insane with pro recruits.
Right.
That might be another deck though.
Alright guys, so we are going to go ahead and do a ladder match here. I want to get us one more victory here, and then we'll wrap up this video. So let's see, what do we have as an opener here? What are you thinking?
We got Goblin Gang, Tesla, Road Recruits, Bats, so it's okay for me to split. Hoping I don't play Mortar.
Yeah, it could very well be Mortar Rascals bait if you see Rascals in there.
Yeah, I have to cycle this so I can counter push with the Musketeer, because this should be able to defend all of that.
There's the Mortar.
A lot of times it's okay to poison this, because you really can't snipe it with a Musketeer.
Yeah, it gets you good value too. You get damage on the tower.
It gets chip damage. Yeah. And is always getting distracted too. So here I have to Musketeer, I have to Bats.
Make sure those goblins don't do too much.
I can counter push.
He's got Bats too.
Snowball, even though the snowball was kind of late. And I kind of missed it. Alright.
Musketeer stays alive, that's good.
Alright, now I just gotta play defensively. Defensive. If I had road recruit, if I could use road recruits, I can use that, so I have to use Goblin Gang. Should be able to defend it really nicely. Sadly, it didn't defend it all the way.
Yeah, we'll rely on the Musketeer here, it looks like.
Yeah, because the Goblin Gangs get so much damage, and I can't support it. That's why double elixir is so good for you, because all those times you can easily support it. He has that, and then counter push.
All right, let's go in for the minor counter push here. Bats get destroyed by the spear goblins there, but that's okay. You got the snowball, no problem. Minor's getting some good chip damage there on the tower for sure.
The one way that I have to win is chip and catch him off guard with his rascals with a royal recruit, and then that should like win him in the game.
All right, sounds good. We'll go for that.
I want to support. Okay, I want to support this. Bats push on the side.
Yeah, it looks like right side's going in hard.
So he uses fireball. I'm gonna get so much damage right here. Snowball.
There we go. Yeah, you are. That one bat doing work with that miner. I love it.
Yeah. Here I'ma do this. Do this. I have to defend it.
All right, looking
Even
good.
Though he can get some fireball value, but he's gonna get it on the right side. I have to push real hard right here, real hard.
Yeah, we got to go in hard on the right.
Watch how I put the bats, and then I'll put the miner, so he can't hit anything. And then I'm a snowball. Could have done it a little bit higher.
You may still get his tower here. Poison that tower. Oh, that is it. All right, awesome.
Yep.
All right, man. I think that is it for tonight's video. But before we wrap it up, I just wanted to ask if you have any last-minute shout-outs or anything like that. Anything you want to close up the video with?
No big shout-outs. Just want to say I'm a huge fan of your channel. Watch all your videos.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It's been a fun journey. I've been doing this for, I'm looking at my watch, it's like a year and a few months now. And it's slowly but surely making my way up there. Hopefully I reach that 1,000 subscriber mark soon, you know?
Yeah, I'll keep you updated how we're doing the tournament. If I ever do any changes, if you ever want me back, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any day.
Yeah, anytime you have a new deck or something, you know, we'll keep in touch. It was fun working with you. We got this done really quickly and smoothly, so yeah, it was a pleasure.
Because it's always the balance can always change the deck, and I can always improve this deck. It might get even more spicier.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. It's a little bit off meta. It's got rogue recruits in it. It's very strong. Lots of control elements. So, any last words before we wrap this up?
No more. Just thank you for inviting me and letting me be on your video.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on. Make sure to leave this video a thumbs up, guys, if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment in the comment section below if you have anything to say or have any questions, or maybe you're interested in coming on the channel as a guest, just like Mewy here. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night.